Previously on Quest Friends.
With a wing pal, you get to keep track of how many hearts you have with somebody else. If you establish 5 hearts with someone, you can go with them to prom de plume. It's a dance.
I don't know, I'm kind of excited about dancing. There was nobody who knew how to dance in the wheel, so I never learned.
And then Misha would give the skipping stone to Xoc. I remember you talking about how you liked looking at the ocean, and I believe it is a human custom to throw stones sometimes and see them skip in the water.
Vera reaches down and pulls out a small key-like shape with a glowing orb of light at its handle.
Ah, damn, she had the magic light key.
Oh yes, she is very close. Her name? The Lady with Cinnabar Lips. And at that point, Xoc, you start to hear a garbled message. But it stops after a second. You start hearing this frantic beeping that you haven't heard before. And you can tell that it's just trying to call you. That you will give her back what is hers, or everything will be gone.
Alright, so Xoc or Misha, who wants to go next?
Does Misha want to go next?
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, so Xoc can go first.
I guess I'll have to go then.
I'm emotionally drained. It's not fun.
How about this? How about we do... What if we did Xoc and Misha together and then you had little mini scenes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You two can go walk around a little bit. Maybe Xoc can get some heart points.
Oh yeah, that thing we haven't had time for because plot.
Misha's gotten some with you.
I only have one left.
Yeah, Xoc.
So...
Hang on, I gotta play some 3-time music for this. Hang on, let me...
Okay, so you, when we talked a little bit beforehand, Ari, you had expressed interest in assembling more gifts, correct?
Yeah, I want to get more gifts. And I also want to give a gift to Adrian at some point.
All right, so you want to assemble more gifts. And Xoc, I don't know, you just want to follow along, right?
Yeah, Xoc wants to spend some time with Misha and also has a gift for Misha.
Okay.
And is waiting for a good moment.
So you're walking around, you're trying to find yourself to kind of the mail web, the nexus where all your mailboxes are. Once we get there, stuff is going to happen. So is there anything you want to do on your way there?
Yeah.
Through the hallways?
Yeah.
Like give gifts?
Yeah.
I imagine we've just been discussing how our days went and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like Xoc and Misha spent most of his time telepathically, like, chatting about what they've seen, going over things.
Dang kids walking through hallways next to each other, just texting each other on their phones.
Basically.
Well, it would, to, like, onlookers, I feel like it would look more like they were walking in silence with the occasional, like, glance shared between them.
Side plans.
Occasionally one of them just chuckles like, I love it.
But no, so while they walk, Xoc is going to pull out his backpack and say, "Oh, Misha Jarvis, I've actually been meaning to pass this to you, but we've been so swept up in finding ourselves here and the classes and the jagged dream and the professor."
Finding ourselves.
What was that, Ari?
I just like finding ourselves. That's such a philosophical thing.
Xoc needs to figure out who Xoc is.
Finding ourselves on this boat. I just had a pause there. It's fine. Xoc is going to reach into his satchel and drag out. Let's see, what's the exact description here? Items. Where did they go?
Is it another ball of ants? You can never go wrong with balls of ants.
Yeah, it's a ball of ants.
Ball of ants.
Xoc is gonna say, I noticed you really liked these small insect creatures.
Oh, I do, actually, and they are gonna show Xoc the little ball of ants that they already have. I carry them with me all the time.
Xoc, I'm trying to decide if Xoc, like, saw you purchase them in the store and thought, you know what Misha would like? More ants. Or if Xoc feels embarrassed that they bought something that Misha already had. But Xoc will sort of sheepishly hand over the ball of ants and be like, well, you know, really, we need to get a more sustainable population for those ants before properly establishing their home.
Misha's lights will literally light up when they see that, and they're just really, really excited about it. Be like, oh, this is really wonderful, Xoc. I was thinking that I did not have enough ants, and I was wondering if they would eventually get lonely after a while. So this is wonderful. Maybe they can even migrate to different colonies and feed each other this way. Thank you. I really like this gift. And they are going to semi-bit awkwardly hug Xoc in thank you. I believe this is something humans do to demonstrate their appreciation.
Xoc will return that hug and say, "Oh, I think that's true. Although I actually haven't done all that much hugging. It's still a little new to me.
It feels nice though.
Yeah, it does." And then Xoc will awkwardly be like, "Oh, and also I was thinking, I remembered back in the inland sea near the wheel, there were these aquatic crustaceans that are very much like insects. I believe they are part of the same order as these ants, and as such they have similar features. And I used to see them sort of wandering around underneath the water. Sometimes they'd wander up on the beach a little bit. I was thinking someday, if once we've dealt with the impending doom from the Apocrypha and Jagged Dream, if you would be interested in seeing those crustaceans as well, since they are similar creatures."
Oh, I would love to, Xoc. Maybe we can watch them together while you also show me how to skip rocks in the real ocean.
Yeah, that I would also enjoy that. We should make plans to do that once we've saved the world and all that.
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of things to take care of first. But after that, I would love to go on these adventures with you.
What the fuck is happening?
Oh!
In and out of character. I forgot Ness was here.
I did too. I asked in the chat, and I just waited.
Oh, hello, Ness. I forgot you were here. Xoc just gave me these wonderful gifts.
Yeah, obviously.
A reminder, they're speaking telepathically.
Oh, yeah.
So Ness just saw Xoc hand Misha a ball of ants and then saw Misha get really excited.
And then they hugged.
Oh, I forgot about the hug. So Xoc gave Misha a ball of ants silently and then got a hug. It's like watching The Sims. How many heart points has Xoc gained from this, by the way? Tom did 2 gambits, so I'll say he can earn up to 2. But it's up to what you want to give him.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's do it. Because I want to go to prom with this boy, and he's taking so long. So I'm gonna give him 2. 1 for the ball fans, and 1 for the cute moment of the crabs.
You gain no heart points with Ness.
Ness is just confused. He's been here for so long, just watching you stare at each other and then hug.
I suppose it would be more polite if we communicated in a way that allowed all 3 of us to hear. I apologize. I was inconsiderate, Ness.
I don't know if I want to know what you were saying to each other.
Oh, it wasn't anything.
Nothing weird.
It wasn't anything that.
Nothing weird.
No.
Okay.
Perhaps if you like insects too, I can get you some ants.
Is that what that is? And he's trying to he's going up on his little tippy toes to see what you're holding.
Oh yeah, Misha's gonna excitedly show Nez the balls of ants. I really like insects, and these are really pretty insects that Xoc gave to me, and I just really like them. If you want some, I can give you a couple. Not too much though, because they can get really lonely.
Just like a couple loose ants?
If you want.
You alright?
And I guess Misha will allow a couple ants walk on top of Ness.
Yeah, Ness is just letting them run, going oh, I can't feel this, but I bet it feels cool.
I also cannot feel, well, I can feel some, but not too much, so I understand.
I love him so much.
Are they gonna bond over their inability to get the sensation of touch?
Yeah.
I'm so happy we made Ness.
All right, so not far off from the cafeteria, next to the frankly unnecessary line of escape pods. I mean, who would ever need those? is a web of crystalline tubes that weave around one another, creating the image of a large knitted blanket, hence why it's called the mail net, the mail web. Mail web? Mail tube web? Mail web? I don't remember what it was called. It's the mail room. These tubes scatter at one end to various parts of the prodigious and stop at the other end a few feet off the ground. Here, each tube is connected to a small cylindrical box, and these boxes are oriented in circular groups, about a dozen or so, like knights sitting around a round table. This is where your mailboxes are, essentially, and each of you gets a box which is connected to a tube, and you can send items through it. A couple of mechanical things. One thing I said is that you can send gifts at any time for free. This is what you would do. So you can give it to someone in person, or you can just shove it in the mail tube.
Oh, I know you could ship gifts! Power! The sheer power!
You can ship gifts.
I have gifts to send!
I could have just done this with Sir Kentrum. I wasted our time for nothing.
Let's do this!
And then when you reach 5 hearts with somebody, they'll send you a gift. And you get to choose if you want a cipher or if you want a gift that you can basically re-gift to somebody else for more points.
Yes, let's start!
Start the white elephant.
Now, let's say you can send gifts. But how do you buy gifts?
Yes.
So you can get them through various events, or you can see a vending machine.
Yes.
And you can buy things from this vending machine for 5 shins apiece. However, this is a 9th world vending machine, which means it's not a vending machine. It is an ending machine.
No.
So you can buy whatever you want from it, but ending machines are infamous for spoiling just everything. So the second you go, it'll start spoiling the ending to anything that you're participating in.
Oh man, Danny Darko, isn't that the movie where bleep?
Yeah, so essentially, it just is going to spoil anything while you're there talking to it using the little flap. They're the worst. But that's how you can get your gifts.
Amazing.
But I do need to have money. The thing is, look, I think I spent all of my money on gifts.
Okay, so do you have any gifts that you have yet to send out that you would like to send out using this 2-bar?
Yes, I want to send 2 gifts. I want to send the needle thing that I got, the needle gun with poison needles. It's really cool. I want to put it in Ellie's mailbox with little note that says, I think that you will find this more useful than I will, since you already have sharp additions in your hands. This will make things even more sharp when fighting enemies.
So is this a cipher?
No, that's an artifact.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just get an artifact. Do you want to give Aria a heart point for that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, cool. You have 4 heart points with Ellie.
I have 4 hard points with Ellie.
So it just goes up, and for a second as it goes up, it's like shoosh. So it sounds like a ghost for 2 seconds, which is weird. All right, send up your next one.
My next gift is, back in Roulettia, this nice guy had this really cool cane that he just gave Misha. And Misha liked it a lot for that one time, but they don't really use it anymore, and they don't really need it. But when they saw Adrian the other day in class, they thought that they would look really cool with it. So they are gonna they're gonna put it on Adrian mailbox.
So Misha goes
Saying,
and sticks it in.
with a letter, hang on, let me put a note. They need to know who sent it. So it's gonna just say, I think you will look really good using this. See you at Nano Fight Club tonight. And I will put that there.
Did you sign it though?
Misha, yes, yeah.
So it goes, and for a second you hear shwoo, like a ghost, and then keeps going up.
Also, it is signed like the whole name, not the acronym. So it's just machine in suit of human armor, just rather intelligent system.
No, Hallie, shut up.
I'm just pointing out continuity errors.
In the text, Hallie's pointed out that she asked for paper, and I've said no.
Oh.
And then Ari has asked for paper, and I've said yes. Do you want to just write it on the cane?
Yes.
Here, friend.
It feels like around the cane, and like because the name is the whole name, it's just covering the cane.
I didn't mean to actually ruin your plans. I was just being a jerk, but I like this better, so.
Well, like, you were in detention, like, can I have paper? And then I was like, no, of course not. You're in detention in Kiev. university. Did you think they would give you paper? But illicit love letters? Yeah.
Well, I have now 5 hearts with Adrian and 4 hearts with Xoc. Theoretically, I could ask Adrian to go to prom.
It seems like Adrian was actually going to send you a gift anyway.
Oh, look, the tension.
Because you hear another swoosh, and do you want either a cipher or do you want like a gift that you can
I want a gift that I can re-gift.
Okay, roll me a d20.
Okay. I rolled a 19 with this random number generator. Because even then I'm lucky.
7, 8,
Fuck
9,
you.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Fuck you and your luck.
16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, Ari, who do you want to get a gift for?
Xoc.
A gift for Xoc. So since it's a 19, I will not pick Xoc's ideal gift, but I'll pick something that I think he'll like.
No, I wanted the magician's kit.
The performer's makeup / disguise kit.
Yes,
Oh,
this.
yes. I want that.
Yes. So that is not Xoc's thing. So if you want the magician's kit, a magician's kit comes in.
What? That's not Xoc's thing.
No, Kyle chose it, not me.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Anyways, it just comes down. Misha pulls it out. A note from Adrian, which starts out, newest companion. Here is a gift that I thought you would, and Misha just rips it off, throws it away, and hands it over the Xoc.
Basically, he's like gonna do it very try to do it very sneakily, like stealthily, so that it's not obvious that it's our gift that they are regifting, and they are going to be like, Xoc, I have another gift that I think you would like.
Xoc does little star eyes as he examines this disguise kit and is like, "Whoa, it's wonderful. Now I can enhance the sneakiness that I've been developing."
This way, you can be what Vespari says he is, and is not. A true performer.
Alright, so...
this won't matter at all mechanically, but in the background, Ness is switching people's items in mailboxes. Perfect. Just random people. He's just like moving them around.
I'm so happy.
Now I have 5 hearts with Xoc as well. 2 people, 5 hearts.
How many hearts does Xoc have with Misha?
5.
What?
They're maxed out now.
Nice.
They can go to prom.
Oh, I maxed it. Ooh, that's good. Let's go to prom.
Thou hast turned a vow into a blood oath. It shall become the wings of rebellion that break the yoke of thy heart.
And then Ness.
Yeah.
So at one point, Ness is just switching things around, and suddenly you hear swoop, woo, and then suddenly one of the gifts just comes and smacks Ness in the head, and you just hear a voice say, "Sorry."
Who did that? Who wants to throw down?
Are there data spirits in the mail tubes?
And you see a small ball of light in one of the tubes come down and come out. And this ball of light has wisps of air coming off of it. And these wisps slowly congeal and create a greater form. It extends out to create a floaty, cloud-like body and a sundress that flutters at her bottom like the end of a bedsheet ghost. It continues up above this torso and creates a head with a very foggy face, with the exception of glimmering blue eyes that seem to almost wrinkle with, kind of like the eye wrinkle smile thing. Like if you smile a lot, they're kind of crinkly. And then at the top of the head of this creature is vibrant white hair that puffs up like a cumulonimbus cloud. And the voice says, "Sorry, dearie, I didn't see you there." Hello and welcome to the announcement break for Quest Friends, episode 44, Crime and Courtship, part 9. I am Kyle, your GM, and our intro and outro music are Friends and Hitoshio, both by Miracle of Sound. And today, to make up for last episode's exceptionally long announcement break, I'm going to do a really short one. I've only got 2 things for you today. The first one is that I need to credit someone from the name pool whose name we've been holding on to for like a year and a half now. And that character is Sunny, who is named after @SunnyShine100A1 on Twitter. And because I realized way too late that I edited out the explanation of who Sunny was from last episode, and so characters just happen to magically know her name this episode, Sunny is the other half of the professor. She is Myra's ex-wife. So thanks again for supporting the show, Sunny. We were really excited about getting this character out here, even if it took us a while. The other thing that I want to mention is that it is September. It is anniversary month. And in only 2.5 weeks, on Friday, September 20th from 8 to 10, we are having our Q&A stream. And while we have some great questions all ready for that Q&A, we are looking for more. So if you have absolutely anything at all you want to ask us about the show, you want to ask us about our favorite things, give me an excuse to talk about Miraculous Ladybug, then click on that link below this episode, which will take you to a place where you can submit those questions. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you again on Monday, September 16th.
Sunny.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes, Xoc will ask, by any chance, is your name Sunny?
The eyes blink over to you, and the creature, what looks like a ghost, swoops in and looks you right in the face. I knew the threads were right about you. Yes, my name is Sunny, and you're Xoc and Misha and little Ness, isn't that right?
I'm not little. I'm compact.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. Without a very corporeal form, I can't say there are many folks I've talked to.
So this might be a little bit forward of us, but were you once part of the being known as the Professor?
Why, yes, I was, and it's not too forward, dearie. I heard you talk about the whole thing. It looks like you're solving crimes on this ship.
That is one way of putting what we do, yes.
Well, I would love to help with your efforts, obviously. And she, just points to her wispy arms and, waves them and, the wisps disappear. Obviously, I can't do much, but the threads I see might be helpful to you. And she's gonna point at you two, and the, little eyes are gonna crinkle up with happiness for a little bit. And she's gonna say, congratulations, by the way.
Oh, what?
On what?
What are you congratulating us for?
Oh, your thread. I saw it tighten just a few minutes ago.
Misha would look at Xoc.
Did part of my rope get snagged while we were walking in the hallway?
Oh no, dearie, I'm sorry. And she swoops down and splits into 2, one of which is around you, Xoc, with one of her arms, and she points up towards the web, and she does the same thing with Misha and points up. Human interaction, and machines, and Stratic, and she points to herself, works a lot like that web. Little tethers tying people together, and I can see them. And I just saw yours two tighten up.
Well, Xoc is certainly a very, very good friend of mine.
Yeah, we are very close. There's definitely a bond here between us.
I can't remember much from my time as the professor. She was much more insightful than I am. But I can tell you this. I don't think the threads are just talking about friendship.
Sunny ships Xosha.
But anyways, it seemed like you had some questions when you left. You seemed awfully confused.
Yes, actually. Xoc is going to interject, grateful for any opportunity to distract and derail this train of conversation. You said you can see the threads between people, correct? Would you be able to see someone with a thread between two specific people? Someone who has, say, a thread to both Vera Leoni and also the Blue Fairy?
Vera Leoni, I recognize that name. She's the new professor. Very tough. She was very rude to you. I'd have some words for her if I weren't a stowaway. The Blue Fairy, I don't know anyone by that name, but if you would help take me there, the professor, back when I was her, well, she would have been able to see that, but I can't. I need to physically be there too. If you could get me close, then perhaps, yes, I would love to help a pair so hopeful still.
Well, we certainly know where Myra is. I suppose we can take you to her.
Oh, no, I'm fine with the war part.
But I thought you needed to be closer to
The fairy, closer to the fairy.
Oh, I thought you said, because you said that when she was the professor, she could see that, so she needs to get closer to her. So I thought you meant...
That is the other option, though. It sounds like we either have to lure the Blue Fairy to this mailbox,
Just giving, you've got mail running down the hallway.
or we parent trap them.
Can I propose an option as GM?
What?
Yeah.
Because each of you needs to do your own thing, right?
There are two options. Either we lure the Blue Fairy, or we parent trap this couple.
Why either or? Why can't we do both?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying each of you gets a move to do, so why doesn't one of you try one and one of you try the other?
Let's do it. Let's say that we're gonna do it. I think that we can look for you to get closer to Vera or the Blue Fairy, while we also look for the second part of your bond. As I understand it, you also have another really close friend.
And she looks kind of sad, and she's like, "Oh, the threads don't lie, dear."
Xoc has been pacing and stroking his chin this whole time, and he suddenly turns and points at Sunny and says, "You said a couple still so hopeful. You don't have any hope left?"
The threads don't lie, dearie. There used to be a thread when we were together all around us all the time, but, well, since we separated, there's not a thing.
Well, we're new to this whole threads thing, but when a thread gets snipped off, you can tie it back together again, right?
Perhaps one could try, but I don't want to waste your time with something so hopeless, dearie. You don't have to worry about an old spectral woman's love life.
I wanted to go on record for the podcast that Kyle did the noodle arms waggle with that line also. So Sunny, while saying "Oh, don't worry about an old ghost's love life," also did the cartoon noodle arm waggle.
And she says, "I think right now we should focus on finding your terrible professor's friend."
That is avoiding the question, but fair enough. We should get to work.
Let's lead and search for clues, gang.
Okay, so what do we want to do first?
Hopperscotch.
I'm gonna start with Tom.
Oh, so Xoc, after leaving the group, finds a nice quiet place in front of a window looking out over the sky, takes a seat, and contacts the nanospirits.
What you doing?
Using my connection to the data sphere, I can speak to beings within it. I ask them questions sometimes, figure out what's going on.
All right, I'm gonna take a nap. That sounds boring.
Okay, I will be here when you wake up.
So you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And it's taking a really long time for them to answer.
That seems odd given the powerful relay that we have here.
Well, yeah, but the relay's not for you. It's for the prodigious.
The data sphere is at my beck and call. I am a wizard. I bend these forces to my will. Ah.
And after a little bit of waiting, finally you hear... Oh, hey, Xoc. Long time no talk.
It's been just a couple of days at most.
Yeah, been just a couple of days. Don't mind us. We weren't worried sick about you ignoring our call or anything like that. One time we call you,
When?
completely lock up. We weren't worried that you were dead or anything, but no, of course, we'll pick up when you want to call, but when we want to talk.
When did this happen?
Oh, you don't even remember.
It's been a very...
Oh, I guess you were too busy in that glittering city of Roulettia, investigating that Tommy Funbuck to even pick up our poor message. And then Xoc, you remember, back when you heard the speech about the lady with cinnabar lips, you heard some ringing in your head. Like someone was calling, and suddenly you realize, shit.
There was a lot of interference from a very powerful being, which we still have to take care of. We've acquired...
Oh, Xoc, don't come up with excuses about interference.
Have you ever heard of like a really powerful being in the data sphere that controls things in our world? Wait, no, that's not what I came here to talk about. I'm sorry.
Xoc.
I apologize for not...
No, Xoc. You're gonna come to us asking like, oh, do we know about someone who lives in our neighborhood? Do we know about someone who lives in our dimension that you just heard about? Do we know about her? Xoc, that's why we were calling.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't answer your call. There's still a lot I don't know about a lot of things.
Exactly, Xoc. Exactly. You don't know a lot about there, and one thing you don't know about is the lady with cinnabar lips. She's nasty, Xoc. She makes murmurs up in our world, in our little sphere. We know about her. She's got a reputation, and she is not one to be trifled with. Now I'm sounding like Mauve a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Xoc.
This is where Mauve went when she died.
Shut your face.
The data spirits were definitely not stubborn before, but they are now.
She's not someone to be trifled with. Xoc, you remember that fun little cute speech you got about patrons earlier?
Yes.
Yeah, or uplinks. We call them schnozwapples, but no one seems to have connected with that. So pick your poison, I guess. Xoc, we're here to help you out. We care about you, all right? And it's not important. Just what was your question that you had for us, Xoc?
Well, I guess it's not really one question. I know that's breaking the rules, sort of, but
You think?
maybe I was hoping we were beyond.
All right, so you ignore our calls, wait a few days, and now you're gonna break the rules. You don't get to accumulate them for times you don't spend them, Xoc. That's not how it works.
Well,
all right, it's not rollover call minutes.
Well,
rollover questions.
What does that even mean? You know I never know what you mean. Oh, I guess I just wanted to ask. I'm really confused about people and like what it means to really care about someone a lot and how you show that. And I guess I just was hoping maybe you knew just how to show someone that you care about them a lot, or help people understand that they care about each other.
So, Xoc, you talking about your new spectral friend? Or are you talking about yourself?
What if we went with yes?
Well, I think, Xoc, for you, I think the fact that you're asking means an awful lot by itself. And the thing you gotta do is stop thinking about the question itself and start thinking about why you're asking it. Well, as for your two other friends, that's a tough situation. Xoc, could you imagine what it would be like to be yourself but not?
Xoc will sit for a moment and think. I might. I know it's not the same thing, but if you think about it, everyone's past self no longer exists. People change, and I don't even have most of my memories from when I was really little. I don't think the way I used to. I've become someone different who's still the same person, but also not. Also a completely different person. I think I can at least imagine what it might be like to just change.
And Xoc, you had years to graduate out of that, and thank goodness you did. I mean, you were cute, but thank goodness. Now imagine if you did it in an instant. Now, these two women have spent decades combined as this one entity. It wasn't two people piloted in one machine, it was one thing. That was both them and also not them. Well, imagine how scary that would be if you, well, suddenly, when you were just one half of somebody, now you had to stand on both feet by yourself. Well, it'd be hard to know anything, much less what you want.
What do you think I should do?
Xoc, do you remember the one thing Horace always told you about what you should do if you see someone stumble and fall?
Help them up?
Well, that's the only thing you can do. Oh, before we go, Xoc, I know this is us giving a freebie, but can you make 2 promises for us?
What are they?
Well, the first is answer our damn calls.
Okay.
We're panicked up here, Xoc.
Okay.
Second one is I know you're real excited. I know you got that friend you want to go to prom with.
What?
Be careful around them, Xoc. You know that we're your patron, but have you ever thought about what theirs is? Alright, so Misha, you are hunting down the blue fairy or Vera. Which one are you hunting down?
Yeah, that's
Because they won't be together, so you gotta hunt down one.
I know, that's a good question. Oh, this is hard. I think... Because I have more experience with Vera, but at the same time, I feel like maybe the blue fairy might be a little bit more easy to convince than Vera. You said, well, I guess both of us are really bad at social interactions, but Misha is particularly bad at this, so this finding them is a thing, but getting them to do shit, I'll do the blue fairy.
Okay.
I feel like you can Looney Tunes your way out of this.
So you're hunting down the blue fairy. Where are you looking for the blue fairy?
Is there, so where was the stage where, they had the Vesperi had little show and stuff like that? Because maybe I could get into the backstage or something either before the show or around, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is gonna be fun. The issue on the table.
No.
Gon is on the verge of war
Okay,
with
fine,
Charmande. And do we provide Zev soldiers to our Gon allies, or do we stay out of it?
No!
Remember, my decision on this matter is not subject to the Council of Spheres' approval. The only person you have to convince is me.
You must be out of your goddamn mind! Stop it!
So you're backstage. You can hear that the Calaval performers are practicing for tonight's performance. You're in this backstage. Honestly, it's really just kind of like a cardboard wall for the thing, and you're just kind of in the back half of the room.
I was just able to sneak there. That's perfect.
Yeah, Vespari, you can hear is he's kind of muttering. He's actually, the door is open and he's sitting there just muttering, sitting to himself. He didn't notice you come in. He actually did. He thought you were a performer because he doesn't know what Misha looks like.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just sitting there like muttering to himself like, I am the great Vespari. I am the great Vespari. I am the great Vespari. Trying to nail his opening line for tonight's performance.
As he's doing it, Misha kind of unconsciously is going to roll their eyes a bit. And I want to see, is Vespari the only one in the room, or can Misha look to see if they see the blue fairy somewhere?
I mean, it's about 10 square feet.
So I guess.
So the blue fairy is not here yet.
Not.
So you're just sitting there and a voice from inside your pocket says, was that supposed to be a companion of this blue fairy of yours?
I thought that perhaps his companion would be here and you would be able to see this thread. Well, are you able to see any nearby threads? Perhaps not coming from him, but from the vicinity that might lead us to the people we're looking for?
Oh, can you lift me up, please?
Misha will. So Misha is tall, so Misha will do that. But also, I want to use my scarf to also lift it up, extend it and lift it up, because it's a long scarf too.
And so what you do is you reach into your pocket and you lift up something that Xoc gave you and is now in your inventory. You remember those keys that you had back in Charmande that they used to store light?
Yeah, right, yes.
Yeah, so you needed to transfer Sunny throughout the thing, but since she's a stowaway and it had to be secretive, she couldn't just fly around. So it took a little bit of finagling, but you eventually realized that you could stick her inside one of these capsules so she can just hang around inside your pocket as you move around.
I see.
So you lift up this little key, and it looks around, and she says, "No, I can't see anyone. I've found that I have difficulty unless I can physically see the person."
Okay, that is understandable. Well, perhaps, do we know how long is it until this show starts? Because maybe we can just wait until she appears.
It's a few hours.
Okay, never mind. That goes out of the window.
I mean, if you're up for it, I'm okay with just you two sitting shooting this shit for 3 hours.
Fine, let's do that, because I don't have any other ideas. If people have other ideas, let's hear them. If not, I'll just listen to this musical again that Misha likes, the songs.
Alright, so you sit and you wait for the blue fairy to come, and it's silent for a little while, and then eventually the orb pipes up, the little key. "So, how did you meet?"
Oh, that's why you suggested doing this. Misha will say, who meet? Do you mean me and my companions?
"Oh, well, not all of them. The blonde boy," he's blonde, right?
Yeah, it's like a dirty blonde, right?
Yeah.
"The blonde boy, he's very cute, by the way."
Oh, Xoc. Right. And Misha's eyes will brighten up again, because I've decided that's their version of blushing. Oh, well, we had this mission. I entered this bar, looking for an adventure after, well, we don't have to really go into details, but I really wanted to have an adventure with humans, because I don't know them, I didn't know them much at the time, and well, he just happened to be there along with my other companions, and that's how we met. I agree that he's not bad looking.
And then?
Then I don't know. Which is going to be a bit flustered about this. Be like, are you enjoying the show?
I remember when I first saw Myra. It was a funny thing. I had never tried to take form in this physical realm before, but then I saw this a young explorer. She was just so stumbling. Like, eventually she got into the middle of a cavern and realized she had forgotten her lights. So I had never tried to take form in the physical world before, but I thought I couldn't just leave her there alone, so I tried to assemble together some of the little light I could find and create a beacon. Now that was much too heavy than I was used to, and I just stumbled right into her, and the rest... And then she gets quiet.
Misha will smile at that and say, well, that is certainly a really nice story. And it seems like you two are really, or were at that time really close. I do hope that you can figure out, again, those links and tie them if that's what you want. Misha will actually shift a bit on their seat and say, I suppose I have a question, because I was a little bit confused as to a thing you said earlier. You mentioned that the bond you saw between me and Xoc was stronger than just being very good friends. I do not understand what else is there. What is stronger than that? In my classification, I don't understand it.
Well, dear, I can't say I understand it either. Being fused into one person, quite unconventional, and not recommended. But I had heard that you had met Mauve and Mako?
Oh, yes, I did. They're gonna kind of a bit quiet after. Yeah.
Well, in all my years, I haven't had that many years, but in all the years the professor was around, she hadn't seen a better example of what else is there than friends than them.
Oh.
You two actually remind me a lot about them, although your robot companion is a lot sassier.
Misha will think about it and say, yeah, they did have a different relation than, I guess, anybody else they related with. How do you call that?
I've heard it called love. Is that the blue fairy you were talking about? And as you look over, you see a door has opened up, and the blue fairy has walked in and is looking at you.
Oh boy, okay, way to interrupt. Rude. Misha will say, oh, certainly, that is her. Misha will wave at her and say, salutations. I would like to speak to you for a moment. I don't think we have properly introduced yet. My nomenclature is Misha Jarvis, and I know you are referred to as the Blue Fairy, but I do not believe that is a nomenclature of yours. That would be like calling me an android. Do you have a nomenclature?
The blue fairy is going to look at you, and she's going to raise her eyes. She was not expecting this. And then...
Eyes or eyebrows?
Raised eyebrows. No, her eyes herself will just go up.
Like the Mii's, like when you create a Mii and you can like put where the eyes are, you just raise the eyes.
And she's gonna look over and she's gonna just kick Vespari's box, and he's just been sitting there ranting to himself like, I am the great Vespari.
He was still in the fucking room while we were having this conversation.
And he's gonna be like, oh yes, my assistant, where have you been this whole time? We have a show to attend to. And he gets up and he storms off on the stage.
Oh.
And the blue fairy walks off to the stage and she looks back at you and she just shrugs.
Can Misha do an attempt to grab her?
Kidnapper, do it.
Yeah,
Oh no.
give me a roll.
Oh no. I can't rescue Misha from the brig.
I don't know what I'm doing, okay? I'm sorry. Oh, 19!
So what is your goal? Why are you trying to grab the blue fairy?
I mean, is the angle I want her to listen? I mean, I guess we should. This is why I was a worse person to be and look for her. Because I want what's her name, Sunny, to be able to take a better look at her threads. Just a quick second so that she can see what they are linked to.
All right. So the blue fairy goes, you grab her by the hand, and she glares at
I feel like, I don't know if there's a way for me to like nudge at friggin' Sunny for her to quickly look at the threads before I die.
Oh yeah, Sunny's been listening this whole time, but she's not going to speak because she can't mentally talk to you.
No, I know, but if she can look, yeah, just hopefully she's looking while this awkward situation happens.
And then she aggressively moves her arm back and flutters off onto the stage.
Well, after that happened, I'm gonna...
And then, as you walk out, and the Great Vespari starts his second performance, Sunny pipes up. Well, no, my abilities must be completely off. That doesn't make sense at all.
Why? What did you see?
So that was the blue fairy you were talking about, yes?
Yes, I am certain.
And you said she should have threads with 2 other people?
Yes. Well, I do not know. I would like to find that out.
Well, I saw 2 threads. One points in the direction of that gymatorium.
Oh, I suppose that might be what Vera is.
But the weird thing is the other one. Now, I must be wrong. I would need... Only the professor could know this for sure, but it looked like her second thread was with the prodigious itself. For reference, Ari, how many balls of ants does Misha have at this point?
Two balls. That came out wrong.
So with an NPC, and Ness counts as a PC there. He's not going to send you shit. He's a stowaway, so he doesn't have a mailbox. His mailbox is Xoch's mailbox, and that's going to cause problems. But the threads I see might be helpful to you.
Okay, Sapphire.
Any person you're connected to, I can see those lines bonding you together. It's how I knew I could trust you so easily.
So could you run a ship on that power?
What?
Could you run a ship on that power?
Was Sunny's introduction okay?
Yes, I liked it a lot.
I picture her as the cloud from Star Butterfly. The little cloud.
And that's where we're going to cut off the Xoc scene.
Good, because Xoc was not fucking happy with them there. He might have moodily disconnected on them.
I mean, that's fair.
Just hang up. Goodbye, Mom.
Fuck you, Dad.
Fun fact, this is now a conflict that's going to go. Here's a new arc. Stay away from your significant other.
Fuck you, Dad.
They're dangerous.
Fuck you, Dad. Maybe the Lady of Cinnabar Lips should be afraid of us.
I will never reveal my performance secrets from such a saboteur like yourself. Was a jealous person from Roulettia come to ruin my performance? I'm doing perfectly fine.
Well, I have seen it before, and I can attest that it is not really that perfect.
Oh. And then I'll cut to You Have Love. Just because I just really like the reference to two people and a Ness.
Yeah, that's cute.
Two People and an S, our sitcom.
2.5 Robots.
No, not that show.
2.5 machines.
No. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
You've done this yourself.
No. 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 Not that show.
It's true.
I'm not sorry.
Fuck. Catchphrase. That was a bad Ness voice.